Asta Hill is the endorsed Greens candidate for Mayor of Alice Springs, also running in the town council election. She joins us now. Really nice to have you here.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
So the Greens have come off a good 12 months in the Territory in terms of results, obviously winning the first ever seat for the party in the Parliament. And of course, you're making the top two or close to making the top two in a few races. There was, of course, your race, which was off the top of my head about 53-47 against the CLP, which was a very decent swing towards the Greens there. Why do you think Territorians have gone towards the Greens in those kind of numbers in the last election?
It's a good question. I think there are a number of explanations for that. I mean, one and a pretty obvious answer is that there is a real appetite for progressive politics in the Northern Territory. I think the Greens have come to be known rightfully as a really credible party in the Northern Territory. But adding to that, we ran the strongest campaign in our history in the Northern Territory. We put a hell of a lot of time and effort into it, and we really got out amongst the community and explained why it would be worthwhile voting for us. So we literally door knocked thousands of doors to explain to people what we were all about and why it would be sensible to vote for us.
In terms of your own result at the general election, as I said, about a 53-47 result, certainly, and again, I'm coming from the national media level, but I didn't see it coming, and it was a bit of a surprise to kind of see those results unfold. It was absolutely strong. You know, we've seen so much in the headlines about Alice Springs over the past few years. We see those headlines, and maybe some would think on paper, well, why would the Greens come so close to winning that seat? How were you able to achieve that kind of strong results? Speaking as someone who's obviously on the ground compared to the perspective that I and many others have.
Mm. I think that it was, again, a number of things. I think running a community campaign that went for, well over a year, that involved really proactive grassroots field campaigning, actually connecting with people and understanding the experience of Territorians was very important. What is typically portrayed, I think, in the national news media of Bantua Alice Springs is a lot of crime panic. There is a hell of a lot of focus on that. But when you actually connect with people on the ground, they're looking for solutions that are actually going to work. They want to be heard and understood, and they want to experience real political leadership, which is actually advocating for policies that are a bit harder to explain to people and which have an evidence base to them, and are proven to work elsewhere. And that kind of persuasive conversation can only really happen in people's homes. I think in the media generally, it's more those reactionary policies that are more easily sold. Whereas the evidence-based policies addressing the underlying drivers of crime, they take a longer and more committed conversation. And that's exactly what we did in the Territory campaign. And ultimately, I think that's a really key reason why we ended up with a 30% swing, which we're all so incredibly proud of.
So running for mayor of Alice Springs in the local government elections goes without saying it would be a hyper local campaign. What are the kind of key issues you think are facing residents?
Yeah, and to be clear, we're also door knocking in this campaign. Um, Grassroots politics necessitates connecting with the community and hearing from them firsthand what the issues are. I was just door knocking with our team yesterday afternoon, and some things that are really coming across are, first of all, the need to change the story of this town. And that is one of the key motivations for me in putting my hand up for mayor. It's it's portraying a more balanced version of this town and what our experience is living here. Because this isn't a crime ridden town like everyone may believe, reading the news or watching it. This is so many other things. It's an incredibly beautiful, close knit community. It's a place where you walk down the street and you're greeted with smiles. It's a most spectacular environment to live in. It's a place where you have, an incredible lifestyle. It's a wonderful place to raise kids. We need to start telling this story so that people decide to start moving here again, so that tourists happily plan visits here, and so that we can really like boost our population again. Because this story that's inaccurately being told about our town is having really harmful ripple effects that are impacting so many locals like me.
I'm curious. The Greens, no stranger to endorsing local government nationwide, of course, do it in almost every state and territory. Only party to do so in the NT, although there would be those unendorsed party members running around. It is brought up sometimes in various local government elections. Parties should stay out of this. You are an endorsed party candidate, so what's your response to comments that come up like that?
I'm really happy that you've asked this question. I am really proud to be a Greens member, and my decision to run as an endorsed candidate of the Greens is one that is made out of respect for constituents living here and as a sign of my commitment to absolute transparency. I'm a member of the party. I believe in our policies and principles. I was involved in drafting a number of our policies. I'm so proud that any community member who is perhaps unsure about how I would vote on a particular issue can go online and look at our policy platform and really clearly see what I'm all about and what I stand for. I think the more important question to ask is why many of the other candidates in this local government election who are members of political parties are not willing to stand as endorsed members and be transparent with the public about what they stand for and what they believe in.
On the issue of turnout, because that's something we hear about a lot in NT elections and local elections, certainly. Alice Springs doesn't have the worst by far, but, it's certainly nowhere near 80, 90 at the last election. How are you hoping to just pick that up broadly? Because obviously there's the element of raising awareness of your own campaign, but just letting people know that there are these local elections on, and from the day we're speaking, they're only a month away.
Yeah, it's another good question. When we're speaking with people outdoor knocking, the first question that we invariably ask is, are you aware that there's a local government election and are you going to vote? Because it's really important. You'd be aware that our last mayor, well, our current mayor, in fact, got in by 2 votes. So we're trying to explain to people your vote really matters. You could influence the outcome in this election. And it's been really clear from our current mayor's term that the mayor in Alice Springs has an enormous amount of power, particularly in his advocacy role throughout the Northern Territory, but all the way to Canberra too.
Just finally, say you are elected mayor, I guess, are there any key urgent priorities that you would work to action immediately after being sworn in?
A really significant priority of mine and the party more broadly is giving young people more to do. Boredom is a really significant problem in this town. As a young mum with 2 young kids, I see this firsthand at a time when we have young people being further criminalised in the Northern Territory. I think it's the responsibility of our local government to be doing everything that it can to quell boredom for young people and, yeah, give them activities to participate in, run more programs, open up public spaces, expand the library hours and activities, make pool entry free. Things like this are going to have a really positive impact on community safety, but they're also just going to make it a more enjoyable town for families to live in.
Right. Well, best of luck with the campaign. We will follow it closely. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.